kind of get with the new thing that we're going to do, stay subscribed. We'll do most of everything. The videos and the live sessions will start at 11 a.m. Eastern, maybe even earlier. And then the new gold membership at Harmonic Trader that I will be rolling out this weekend for everybody starts with the basic membership. And so again, for everyone that's new or you have questions, everything is in that basic membership. So click there, register now, start there, and get with the TradingView trial as well as the other Harmonic pattern collection software platforms that we have available. I don't know why that's so slow, but that is. And then the new gold membership is going to be something where you get interaction. We'll open up the live sessions. Everyone can come. People can learn. Everything is free to get started. That's really important to understand, because I think it's fair to say that there's a lot of material here to be learned, especially if you don't have any technical background. And I think it's probably the best solution, though, to kind of put it all there for everyone, that as a free resource, as the harmonic pattern resource. Okay, and trading wise, no one's doing this either. And I think it should be the standard where the education, it really should be accessible. So all 4 books are available. I tell everyone that you can have a trial to just about every harmonic pattern collection software version that we have until you find the right one that works for you. Every one but the Thinkorswim platform, because we just can't do it currently. We can't set up those temporary licenses. So, but if you are interested in the Thinkorswim for TD Ameritrade, do check out our partner over there. But that's it. And I'm getting a lot of questions of people that want to learn. Sir, how do I learn? And I say, go to Harmonic Trader, sign up basic. You have 4 books. And then on top of it, you have hundreds of hours of webinars. The other thing is I will open up the old gold membership archive. So, I'll make that available too. And it's something where it's either going to get uploaded to YouTube, or I'll just open it up to the public and maintain it on my private host. But that is going to be the complete resource. And then again, so why would you subscribe? You shouldn't subscribe until you exhaust these free resources and you know what's going on, because the thing that you subscribe to is the premium gold experience, which is direct contact with me and my team, and software access to as many as 3 licenses. Okay, so you're getting what you get. But before then, you go through a month or maybe 2 months of a whole free experience. And the other thing that I say about the software, of why it's such a necessity, is that if you folks have come this far with my work, and I mentioned this in the last session, it's in the software. In fact, we have learned a great deal about the software. I'll go through the scanner. Here is the scanner for TradingView. We have it available for the other Harmonic Pattern Pro platforms. But we're focusing on TradingView, especially because because of the crypto situation. One moment. What's going on? I don't know. Is the video okay, folks? I mean, the resolution. I know I just got some kind of warning. Anyway, that's my deal to everyone that's willing to take this trip seriously. And I think we can, before we get into it, for those that are new and for those that have questions, one of the things that maybe is the best thing is just to kind of sit and observe and learn. And so before you even ask questions, go through the resources. Also, go through what we have been doing. One of the main feeds I've been using is Twitter. That will change. Again, all the details will get rolled out. So, but again, go to Twitter and look at what we're doing. Really funny stuff, by the way. Some of you guys are folks, ladies and gentlemen, are really funny. It's so hilarious stuff, and it's a great interaction. It's one of the reasons why I'm going to open up the live sessions, and then I figured out how to really give the gold members a premium experience while we get the most out of what I do live. For me, this is really for me to get the most out of it as much as to maximize the effort we're putting into here. But take a look at the patterns, go through. And I guess the obvious thing that we should cover is the SHIB and ENJ. That became it still is crazy. So where is that right now? All right, selling off. It's hitting some crabs coming off that 7,800. But I think this has been amazing. This was like Doge, folks, when we all went through Doge. And I think there's a lot of takeaways with this where we know it was all speculation. We're not kidding ourselves here. I'm completely out, by the way. I might have a little bit. I might have a little bit, but if not, I might have a couple $100 worth. And you guys know. And I actually got out of this early. I got out of this, most of this around the 4,700 level. I caught a little bit of the second half, but not much. And it happened pretty fast. I shared this with some of the members that I had some things come up where one day I had to step out and the whole thing exploded. But we hit the 8,000 to 9,000 level. Completely documented. And it also, a couple of the takeaways from this whole SHIB experience, we had some great setups along the way. Even long after we were looking at, just saying, hey, this might moon to 8,000 to 9,000. We had some great pullbacks. Where's I'm trying to find it? Go back a couple days. It all started around the 12th, the 17th. There were some great 5-minute patterns along the way. Here, of course, here was the Gartley that started it off, and we talked about this over the last 2 weeks. I spoke with this specifically with gold members on Tuesday. Why was this a valid Gartley? And I mean, this was 2,700. It is all a part of the type 1 and type 2 strategy that we're implementing. Sure, yeah, to answer your question, listen, some of the type 1 and type 2 stuff that has become a real part of the harmonic pattern strategy, overall strategy framework, which is critical, is something that I am working on, a whole rule-based optimization effort to at least highlight the proper areas. Most people can spot it, but there's a lot of things that we can do. And again, of course, the bot, I've talked about that. It's the management on the bot for me. It's good, at least what I'm seeing personally, but I think I'm going to have to take it in stages. And the type 1 and type 2 is something that is hitting well. We can see it with the software. I've been highlighting these situations, why something like this actually was an opportunity, let alone a big opportunity. And we've had a few of these retests recently that are setting up now, and I'll go through those. But then again, SHIB keeps going, keeps going. Here's another one that it was pretty crazy. That was a couple nights ago. It was the 24th, and it was SHIB was already making a lot of progress. Now again, this was at 38.89, and again it went all the way up to 8,500. SHIB is 7,400 now. Okay, but the pattern and the type 1, type 2 framework, the way that this came back, it launched off of this pattern as well. The 4,600 call that I made, where it was, I'm talking 20%, was also based on some stuff where I was looking at some higher time frames. So I kind of want to say that where I really look at that Twitter rant that I went on, and just know it wasn't a number I was pulling out of my, what. There was a lot of thought of the longer term, especially with that breakout. So look, that SHIB setup and scenario of everything that went on is like an accelerated application of harmonic patterns and the whole framework in a crazy market where, look, you can speculate it and it's real trading, real exchange, even though it crashed. That was the other thing that was pretty amazing was when you got up to 8,000, 8,500, Coinbase, and I was using Coinbase data, crashed. Um, and I think, I mean, this is just stuff I'm sharing with you folks as real considerations with a part of what you're doing. And a lot of people are utilizing the program, keying off of great patterns in the same way. But I have to say, you have to follow the levels. If and no matter what, in a moon scenario or whatever, you're going to have to be willing to miss out, like I did, and I was pretty forthright with the 50 to 8,500. I mean, there was chunks that I caught, and I day traded some of it, but no, I mean, and I called it. So it just, as I said, that happens. And it was a rather sizable position that I was talking about for a while, where again, that's it. It's probably one of the most untalked about subjects of being able to stick to your levels, hit your profit targets, execute your profit targets, and don't get caught up in the moon situation, because something like Coinbase, what is supposed to be the top of top crypto exchanges, crashes. You can't execute trades, you can't log on, and then so what? I mean, it could test the numbers in terms of harmonic patterns, but in terms of how you handle the real trade, those are some crazy considerations that do happen. You're seeing an ABCD at 1. Sure, SHIB could go crazy. Something though that people should consider, having amazingly eclipsed the Doge market cap, with a lot of people running out of Doge into SHIB, there and now being 35, 40 billion. You're hitting the upper limits of possibility, especially when the top 10 projects, or the top 8 above that, except Ethereum and Bitcoin, are barely 100 billion. So, I mean, I really need to emphasize that this is a speculative run where I don't, I'm not there to be holding this, other than applying the framework and going from A to B or C to D or D to T1 and do that repetitively, because I can't predict the crash. I can, in terms of the brokerage going down. I can't, and if that happens, well, sorry, you're done. But a few others. Recently, SHIB, for the final comment on SHIB, and do review, because I think it was a great series of patterns and examples of 1 and 2 in action. This most recent one basically did that off the top, and type 1 reaction down, type 2 maybe not all the way down to type there, but at this point you're at the T2, so do be mindful of that. I'm like I said, I was pretty clear on my feelings with this, and still am. I think some of the other ones that did the retest, we mentioned that. Let me go back a little bit here, because a lot of it shaped up pretty quickly. AXS now coming off really hard. We had this 114 to 123 level. Let's go over to AXS here, and I know that's been really moving quickly after not doing much. That's something to consider. Sometimes they just sit for days and then they do 15%. Ooh, nice. Man, what are we doing, folks? We're sleeping on that one. The 27th, beautiful bat pattern. So, 124, 120. That hit 160. Wow, that's amazing. I will go through the scanner in a minute and just review some strategies with that. Want to welcome everybody. Let you guys know. Whoa, hey Ziggy, GSAT's breaking out. Oh wow. What time is it? What do we got? We got 10 minutes to the end of the day. Whew. Thanks for mentioning that, Ziggy. I'm just caught up in about a half dozen things. The rest of you folks, people from Mitre, welcome. Absolutely. We will be setting up Discord next week. The best place to connect is with the Harmonic Trader Basic membership, and I'll make other announcements, but go to harmonictrader.com. And then again, for the new people, I'm going to say do free first until you've done the trials and everything. We'll be connecting other people. There's, as I mentioned before, many friends of mine in the industry, a lot of well-known people that I think have a lot to share with this kind of community that's chart-oriented, technical oriented, like, really on the levels, on top of the markets. What is that thing doing? Oh, okay, yeah, that could be a breakout. That's 10 minutes at the end of the day. And for everybody that is new, again, I'm going to say, the once you sign up, take the time to look at the free materials, and I mean a week or two minimum. Please do so. There's a lot of basic questions that you get into after a day or so of looking at the books or the videos. So again, the software, look, that's what we're working on with right now with TradingView. So if you're on TradingView, you sign up as a basic member, and all the information to get how to get access to this is there. AXS is one that has really been starting to develop, and that matches up with the whole new class of crypto that I've been saying for a while. I would like to add a couple names today. One of the older names that I mentioned was Algo. And just really quick, it did that. We were talking about Algo a week ago, and it did the big retest, okay? Since then, it's run up all the way to 2. But we were, if you look at last week's video, we were looking for this move. And it happened pretty quickly. And now we're on our way back up. We are hitting, reversed off a couple of bearish patterns. I mean, it's bouncing back and forth between pattern levels. And I expect that to grind its way up. It's a pretty clear type 1 reaction. You come all the way down to target 2, and then we start our move back up. Algo is like so many of those in that category. AXS and OMG. KNC is the other one where we spoke last time looking for, I think it was a 4-hour pattern. Yeah, look. Oh, and it had that really nice Gartley on the way back. That's a beauty. KNC. Take a look again. Review last weekend, I keep saying that, last week's sessions. Let me improve this. No need for you guys to look at that garbage. The other thing I mentioned with the software, we're really seeing a lot of good reactions with the back-to-back patterns. So if you have a bullish pattern here and you have your type 1 reaction, and we were looking for that retest, come back down 148 pretty quickly and then snap back. We're 172. That's a heck of a move. Do we get a retest back down one more time off the Gartley? We have to watch. As a trade as a type 1 reaction trade, that's from XA to T2. Those have been some of the bread and butter trades we have gone over time and time again. To answer your question about alerts, yes, you can do alerts. And check out the TradingView manual. I mean, right click and set up your alerts, and check out how they do that. I have to update a couple of markets. I spent, I don't know, maybe it was a few weeks ago, I did something on an alert for TradingView. But take a look at what their system. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. So KNC, let me rip through a couple more, and I'll take some questions. The other one that is fairly new is Chili's. Now, it happened pretty quickly. This one was another one. Had some patterns back here at around 29.30. And again, they all had that type 1 reaction move, and up to around 34. This one got slammed in that Bitcoin, whatever that Bitcoin drawdown was. But amazingly, that seems to me like just a washout. Now dealing, and we're going right back to back patterns. I mean, that's amazing too, because that is quite tradable. But look for typical type 1 reaction again. But we're getting to a point with this one where we're going to violate. Maybe in our next level, and we just seem to be building on this one. SPY at all-time high right now, closing the week at an all-time high. Amazing. Yeah, amazing. I'll probably upload my last session from Tuesday because I discussed those possibilities. Take a look over the weekend, folks. My thoughts on the markets. pretty much higher. And my thoughts on energy, crude oil, not only higher, but we need to think about all-time highs. But let's get back to crypto because we're in this window with crypto. 1 minute market about to close for your Friday, for your month, for your week. Thank goodness. Let's get it going. So several of these setting up, and for the weekend here, let's go to Bitcoin because what I had talked about last week was just a pullback off of a reaction pullback off of that 66,000, and you have it. Last Friday, that just was in my ear. Last Friday looked like we're about to rocket on through, but I talked about the shark pattern here on Bitcoin, that it was not the prettiest of formations, but just looking for a 1.0 rejection. So this is the shark. It's not an M or W formation. It's slightly different, slightly lower high at your C point, or sorry, lower low at your C point, and then your D point is up at that 886, your minimum. But I mentioned last week, can go as high as the 1.0 and get rejected in like a fake out right above the 886, something like that. So Bitcoin managed to do that. Maybe it's just going to do a micro 236. A lot of people talk about the 236. It's I don't really focus on that. I was just saying maybe look at a 382. I said as low as 53, 52,000 and then do your explosion. That would be probably your maximum scenario. I wouldn't expect anything more than that. Maybe a 382 off this prior leg. But from a timeline perspective, and that's down at 56,000 and then go. I think that might be a better scenario. So, that hasn't changed. And if you look at my sessions over the last couple of months, we have been looking for the C point. Basically said that 40,000 level, that's the C point for the crab. That's crab pattern. So this is a W formation, and nothing goes up in a straight line, but this is the projected move. If let's just talk harmonic patterns, harmonic patterns have been working incredibly well with the crypto across the board, undeniably. The 1618, the 618 phi ratios. A lot of people have learned about it. I call them harmonic ratios. They're not necessarily because people are also utilizing the 50% or the 2.0. This is something I talked about in my presentation with the CMT Association last month. It's a scale of ratios. That's really what I laid out that defined the patterns. And I call them harmonic ratios because, as I mentioned, Fibonacci really didn't invent the Fibonacci series. It was an Indian guy. So semantics aside, people are learning about it. They see the value. I don't think it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. What I think it's that crypto is of a nature where more people are trading in an unregulated way. So it reflects more natural human cycles. That's why I would favor the 1618 as a major expansion with Bitcoin as a minimum target, 89,000. And if we get, real randy and get going, that's how you round up to get your 100,000. And one of the numbers that we use with the crab pattern I've mentioned this before, but people that knew might not know this, is a 1902 number. We look at it in a range. So 1618 is about there, but somewhere in this area, 89 to 98, somewhere there. That would be your overspill move. But that's a nice harmonic pattern. I also mentioned one of the considerations with something like this for Bitcoin, and we'll look at Ethereum in a minute, and also total crypto market cap. That if we're going to get the crab, and I do think we'll get the crab. We know that we'll get a reaction. That's just the natural way these things work out. So we look at that as a 382. So we come up here, and then we'd look at, looking for some kind of 382 that comes down, do the 382 move, and then go. Where you do the typical retest, which we call a type 2 retest, and you fail. Those are some things where I'll point that out now in terms of the framework of how we're kind of trying to assess Bitcoin and the overall market, because I think it's agreed. Bitcoin doesn't move. Crypto's not really going. It might go up, but it's not going to do what people expect. At this point, where we were 2017, again, Bitcoin was relative price somewhere 35, 4,000 on its way to 20. That's just the rationale. So if you're there and you've got a 3 whatever, you apply the same framework, whatever, that's where they think you are. Essentially, if you go back, here's Ethereum. Let's break that down. I'll go to total crypto market cap in a second, but Ethereum is a really interesting case study. And again, shark, looking at the shark, looking at reactions off the shark. Here we had a pretty ideal formation. It failed here. That's something else I talked about, where it fell shy, and I see that a lot. When it falls shy, you usually do see that eventual test. I don't know why. You kind of get like 85, 90% of the move. But now you have the 886. So your 886 is 4,100. That's been our target for a while. But we're looking at this as a broader framework. Okay, and it also depends on, do you have this? Take a look at these shark patterns. I mean, we talked about that. The title last week was Sharktonic. Why? Just because, outlining why these are shark patterns. What's so big about it? Why we're trying to break down levels. So we have to look at this as a specific type of creature that is now up to its 1.0, which just hit. It's breaking out. Okay, are we going to hit resistance here, or are we going to blast through? Last week I thought maybe we get a nice pullback to 3,600. We got down to what, 39.70. Didn't really follow through. If we're going to bust it, it certainly is here. It might take a few days, but I would be looking at it at that area for the continuation, because look again, we have the deep crab setting up. You have the W formation. You're threatening the new highs, all of that. and we just throw up a 1618, and we use that as a minimum. 62.50. What do we know about the deep crab? We know it likes to overshoot the 1618, and certainly we use, in this case, as much as a 2.0. You know, 1902 is a good number. But the 2.0, that's also probably your maximum limit, about 73.80. Somebody's asking about B point tolerance, which I talked about last week, why that matters in W formations, because it is all about where your B point lines up. Here is pretty clear XA leg. I think we can all agree that. So we measure that distance, and then the B point is the 88 point is 85%. So that's very close. That's plus minus. That is within the 88.6% level. So it's very close. It's close enough. It's, you know, if not, it's if I did it properly here, I could get there. But that's how we treat it. Yeah, it's more like 89. It's actually above when I put it on the exact wicks. But that keys us into what that eventual extension will be. So for this and this breakout, we've done it before. We'll do it again. Would trigger 1618s in a pretty quick, aggressive fashion. But the whole total crypto market cap has to go. So this chart has to continue in agreement with Bitcoin, Ethereum. It has to essentially give us those bullish signs, breakout signs. Let me just bring that up. Why? Because structurally, again, it is a deep crab pattern. And I'll link where you guys can read about deep crab. Go in the basic members. The volume 1 is available. That's essentially where to read about the identification of it. But 3.55, and if the deep crab likes to do what it does of doing an overshoot up to 1902, 1902 is a good number. We use that with the crab across the board. I think that's to be conservative. You're talking 4 trillion, just shy. But that would be the objective here. So break it down. Listen, we've discussed this. Some of the things that we've talked about. We had some bearish patterns that did some reactions. We have some bearish currently. So if you're running the software, and by the way, I will do a little how-to promo on software for a second, where to get this, but where I started today. But again, we're looking at some patterns right now. So again, look for some pausing consolidation behavior. I'm teaching my son, he's 3 years old. I'm literally starting with him with the software. And why? Because I sometimes say to him, okay, what's the last pattern? What's this pattern? He said, red. And I said, okay, what's red mean? He says, okay, it's going to go down, Daddy. And sometimes it's as simple as that, where I need to see that with confirmation, which we have, even in a crazy crypto market. This is how we look at the harmonic pattern framework. Okay? That even in the strongest of markets, I would still be looking for stuff like this. A surge up, consolidation, and then look for your long opportunities on that type of pullback for the next leg. That's how it's been shaping up over and over again. That's on a 1 hour, 4 hour time frame. Yeah, we're hitting a couple of overbought triggers those couple of HSI arrows. So again, be aware of that. Just I do think we're in a super strong position. This is the time, this is the season, of course. I think everyone is anticipating that. We kind of saw that at the beginning of the month. But I would still stick within the pattern framework, and I am absolutely more of trading these than holding longer term. I think there's a lot of opportunities to trade, and I think there's risk. Again, if you're longer term, I think that's great, and there is room to hold a big chunk. But to be trading, what are we trying to do? We're trying to maximize our opportunities. So we're looking for, like we saw in SHIB here. We're looking for moves up, and because if we break down, that looks like it's straight up. But if you break it down on a 5-minute, and yeah, I caught a big chunk of that. I also missed a big chunk of that. But within this, look at the number of pattern opportunities we have, of how we look at and frame out the market. That, in my opinion, is probably a better way to go without the risk. I don't know. Yes, this could moon. Maybe this could go to 50 billion. Maybe it could go to 100 billion. I don't know. I don't think it could go to a trillion. I mean, will it go to a trillion? I don't know. I really think it's something where we have to be completely honest with what's going on right now with all of these. We are in a super speculation mode. And I'm going to click over to the scanner really quick, and I want to show this before I wrap up. And one quick note, this really does remind me of 99, November 1999. It was an interesting time. And the tech stocks, the dot-coms were crazy, and they were going to stay crazy. And everyone knew that it was kind of open season for at least another couple more months, maybe until January. So it was basically throw your darts. And I think that's something to be said where we are now. Be careful of, that kind of overhyped mentality. I think it's there's a lot to be said for trade management, and also just having a plan to enter and exit opportunities at all times. So here is the scanner really quick. We're working with TradingView for this one. This is Harmonic Pattern Collection. Okay, go to harmonicpatterncollection.com. And the best way to start, as I mentioned before, please go to the Harmonic Pattern. Go to Harmonic Pattern. Go to Harmonic Trader. All the information is available here. I see a couple of people asking questions that are available in the webinars and the books. So again, I was going to say that absolutely, I don't want to deter anyone, but what I do want to challenge people to do is the research to learn and give you the tools to, for more than enough time. Like I would say, take advantage of the TradingView platform trial by following these instructions here, sending your username to our support, and then on top, and do that for 2 weeks. On top of that, then maybe take a trial to MetaTrader and get 2 more weeks. I don't care. You're not scamming me. I'm being completely honest here of where you can maximize this free experience. And then in that time, let's take a look of looking at the books. Someone is asking about where do I learn about type 1, type 2. That's available in volume 3. If you're completely new, start with volume 1. If you have some experience, go to 2 or volume 3. Volume 2 has a lot of great information on RSI confirmation strategies with the Shark and the 5.0. The Shark is in volume 2. It's also in the volume 3. So all of this is on you. And why? Because it's going to prevent questions that I have to answer that will go nowhere. And that's not on anybody other than just how are we going to be able to do this? This is going by far the best thing for me is to have all of this be free access and more. So I'll be opening up the basic members to include some of the other course material that was available earlier in the year. I think we'll have some premium stuff, some new premium stuff that'll be coming for gold members. But some of the other stuff, some of the new course material from back from January, I'll open that up where, again, there won't be any more questions. If you go through that material and take the trials and you follow what we do with the examples of the patterns of how we look at it, how we frame it out, how it plays out, you give yourself 30 days and you come back and then you'll have much better questions. Here's algo from the 12th, okay? And I said this is just like many alts. That's at 160. That was the low. But we went through a couple of reactions and then a reversal here. So how many opportunities are there off of algo? Many. If you want to buy the books, they're available on Amazon or a couple other places. Probably get the volume 3. Again, that has everything and then some. The super new stuff, I would say, that involves the software comes with, just look at the videos. And so let's take a minute here with our different scanners. This is one way to instead of having to go one by one, you can put your favorite crypto into scanners that are designed by TradingView. The best way to do that is just simply go to your chart, go to the invite only, and go to right there and add the harmonic patterns watch list. And that will put in an indicator window on your bottom of the chart screen. Like I said, it'll put a chart in there. And once you do that week, you're going to come up with this. You might want to save it as a separate, it'll look like something like that. But you probably want to save it as a separate screen and have a chart window on one and a dedicated screener on another. Now, let me just go through this quickly because you have a lot going on here. PineScript has limitations on how much we can have available listed. It also runs off a lot of memory, so do be aware that we probably could have up to 25 or 30, maybe 3 windows here, and then before you're really starting to run into problems. You can add, maybe have like a double screen or a triple screen even, 1, 2, 3, and add more that way. You could play around with it any way you want. I kind of like it this way. So go through and take a look, but it comes down to really what they have available. The PineScript limits how much we can do with this, but in here I'll list the top 20. Go through and click on this side window. I've got a chart over here. The other thing is I'll click on the time frame, okay, for this for what size charts I want to see. If I want to see a 5-minute, I'll click a 5-minute. If I want to, and that'll show me all the last 5-minute charts. If I want to click an hour, I'll see longer term charts. But that's okay because, again, if you understand the harmonic pattern framework, you know that there are usually 2 opportunities off of every pattern. So if we're looking at something like, for example, the Chili's, here's our bottom screen. Here's the symbol of the crypto. Here's the last price, the type of pattern. the bars. So how many bars are you away from the last pattern completed? So we were looking at Chili's number 9. So this is on an hourly chart. So we're 9 bars away. That's pretty close for an immediate pattern for right now. You could go scroll up. And let me just go to this chart. So I'll scroll to Chili's on, let me go to the hourly. And there's the bat pattern. So that puts me really close in the ballpark. I like this this bearish confirmation on Chili's actually, but now we have bullish confirmation, so probably some more, probably up a little bit more. Be careful on that. I should talk about that another time, but that's the kind of thing we want to see. That's going to put us in the ballpark of where we can at least get a type 1 reaction. This might, do a correction and then, next move up. Right now with the confirmation with HSI, that's what that pink arrow is. Looks like we might come back up into the zone a little bit more. But we're in the ballpark, and we might see this as high as 38 and then a reversal. But we're certainly for those 1 hour time frames, that's an easy way to spot up big patterns. So that's, I think, a good way to be looking at all of this, especially, so Friday afternoon, okay, it's crypto, supposed to get crypto crazy, right? Let's keep an eye on it. Let's, do some scanning here. I hope to be able to get this functioning a bit better within the Pine script, but again, it's a limitation that they have for now. Would love to be able to get some kind of chart linking direct off the screen. That could happen, but for now we got to work within these limits. 1 or 2 more. Let me go back to the other chart. Let me take a look at really quick bring up 1 or 2 more current things that are definitely in a major development phase. I feel like we've seen some things like Solana is one of them, of course, that has really taken off, and it did another big surge move off of some short-term patterns. Even though it did a major monster move recently, we were looking at 189 last week, and we've seen a couple of nice 7-10% moves. That's something I want to keep an eye on. The other thing I also brought up yesterday in our gold member session was Bitcoin Cash. And Bitcoin Cash is on something I have covered for a while. Is that it? Yeah. So Bitcoin Cash on the daily, it got knocked down recently. Been really responding well to daily HSI signals. So something with the software that we've been looking at. Let me get, I think the Coinbase feed was, here's what we were talking about yesterday. And we just registered another bullish HSI signal. So if I'm looking for bullish opportunities, one of the things I mentioned yesterday is let's just take off the bearish signals and then look at the bullish signals. I mean, I can be patient with just waiting for bullish signals. If I'm bullish on the overall crypto market in general, looking for sell-offs within that uptrend to capitalize on the market. So I'll take off the bearish signals, and I'm just looking for bullish signals. So take that, make that black. So these pink arrows are all bullish dailies. And it was something that I didn't expect to get into yesterday, but the correlation was amazing. And we're there now on BCH. BCH has a great knack for doing surge moves. So take a look at the last, what, 8, 9? Each of these, I think, are tradable moves where you're going to get a nice short reaction, or you might get something really extended. But take a look. April, May, and probably the only two that really didn't work out or were very small back here early May, and then these two. But this was a major low, secondary low. We have a secondary low here with this HSI signal. 4 hour. Thanks, David. Appreciate that. We've got a member. Oh, nice. That's what I'm talking about. So beautiful. Thank you, David. See, people really, and people do know. David's, I mean, you've been around, but you're relatively new and you're picking out patterns like this. So that's the kind of thing we want to see against these daily signals. HSI has signaled. HSI, by the way, is Harmonic Strength Index. That's one of the two proprietary indicators we principally use with the patterns. We're up there at target 1 right now. Let me take off some of these screeners. I think they're slowing things down. And then amplified RSI. So maybe we get one more retest, but I would not think this is really off more than a few more days of giving us a response from the daily signal. And trade, just looking to trade that signal up to either the next overbought on either one. I mean, these are minimum objectives, and you could look at the last 8 instances where this has happened. I think the minimum move somewhere is about $100. I mean, even in a quick jolt move, that was back in June and May, were kind of small, but the rest of them were sizable. So that's the key with what we do. We can set up alerts. HSI is something you can set up an alert. Again, look at the TradingView information on their website, but just right click and add the alert, and then here's the values. If I wanted a value for a daily for this, I would say give me crossing up and crossing up 11.3. So let me see if I can get some more things out there. You could do that on a 4-hour time frame. I think that would be pretty good too. But the daily signal with something like Bitcoin Cash is telling you in that Bitcoin family, you got something going on. Litecoin's the same way. One or two more. Another one that really quick I haven't talked about. I do consider it in this new class of crypto that you want to pay attention to. These are the smaller market cap ones that are, I don't know, 500 million, a billion, 5 billion, trying to get to 10 or 20. This Harmony one really has emerged. Something that I mentioned. You've got, again, daily or weekly time frame. You've got just clear MW patterns. Let me come here. That's pretty remarkable. This is almost a perfect deep crab. Depending on what your, forget the other, I think the other time frame was a better feed. That's Binance US. I think Coin, let me see here. Yeah, but this is it. Go up 886. I mean, almost perfect 1.0, which is usually leads to something more, but you still have the larger scenario overshoot. Remember the 1902 I said? which is a great number to use in addition to the 1618. So keep an eye on it. I don't think that's done yet, but that's the kind of thing where we come up, we hit these levels. If we roll over, all right, type 1 reaction on the crab. Maybe it does a crab, and this is something with these where a short, quick reaction would be all you would need to then rock it. So don't assume just because you see a bearish pattern means like, okay, that's it, it's all done. No, in fact, you have possibility of, usually do need a retest to seal the deal on any pattern. But keep that in mind. This is something we mentioned with a lot of these, like Solana and some of these others, that, you know, Polkadot was the other one, threatening to break out to new highs, where we were targeting minimums, structural minimums like 886s and 1618s. So really quick, there's Polkadot. Now we're up here at this shark, because yes, it's another, not a great shark. It's not the, it's fairly nice, but could be a little bit tighter. But, you know, pretty good right there at around 45 bucks. You're seeing a reaction here. It's not going to take long to know if this thing is going to bust, or it's going to take more time, where you have, you need a reaction off of 382, something like that, and then you go. In the same way that Bitcoin and total crypto market cap, Ethereum, they had to do an 886 pause. That could be what's happening here with Polkadot, and then it goes. So one or two more things that are on my plate for sure. This is this curve. This thing already come an insane amount. Yes. Another shark type thing, depending on your feed, but looks like it wants to do something more. I mean, overall, you know, again, look at these breakouts as, hey, they want to target 1618s. That's just the general assumption. If this is something more, you know, then a pullback and then a go again. But that's how we've been treating all of these. Might see some resistance at a prior high, no problem, but that's what has been materializing over and over again. So CRV, get that on your screen. I'll be posting of that. You know, one quick point. Here's one other one, Engine Coin. I really like this one with the structure. Why? We have massive W formation. This is a bat in formation where you have 4 of the 5 points. We had our first test, kind of that breakout move. So Engine Coin sets that up. I'm not saying jump right in. This is a daily chart, but the daily gives you the framework where get on a, say, a 30-minute or hourly and check in a day or two, looking for a pullback, retracement pattern, something like that, where we come back on, let me see, where was it? We talked about this around 160, and it just got away from it, really blasted off a while back. But let it, you know, it'll come back, give us another HSI, something like that. These are ones where you get under the radar because within the larger framework of the daily time frame, if we treat this, again, going to a major structural minimum of an 886. It's called a bat action magnet move. The bat pattern at this point, it'll take time, but that, like a magnet's got to run up, hit the 886, so you got space to fill. we'll do updates on these, but let them kind of show themselves, and then let them come back and they'll give you a nice correction. Hey, if crypto is down 10% in a day from this point forward, let's say some FUD comes out and then Ethereum's down 10% in a day, it's probably an opportunity to get long. And until this last phase of the cycle works itself out, expect craziness like that. So final note about everything we're rolling out next week. Get with basic membership at Harmonic Trader. I'm going to consolidate everything what we're doing and on the basic sign up, and work through the instructions that'll be sent of how to get with our new Discord, our new community, and then don't sign up until you've done the free stuff. For people that are already gold members, you guys don't have to do anything. You'll be sent instructions and the new benefits and how it's all going to work. And if you want to change anything or you have other questions about what we do, send me a note at harmonictrader@gmail.com. It's the best place because that cuts out all the spam. I see your question. I mean, I'm telling you, there's a question. You've asked that 3 times. What's the difference between a type 1 and type 2? I'm telling you that everything that you need to know is available at your fingertips. And it's a video that I've already done, and it's in the books. And I'm telling you, that's all the questions that you have is available for free. But you have to go do the work. And type 1 and type 2 is simply a video on my YouTube channel. You can go see. Okay, so again, if you're new to it, please take the time. I think you can see what we're doing. You see the results that we're doing with our posts, real time. And so if you're interested, you study what's available here for free. There's no charge for any of this. I'm not spamming anybody. This is no gimmick. This is my give back. This is the way I want to do it because I'd like to see things change in the industry personally. And I know what we've got going on with harmonic patterns done the right way it's changing the game. It's giving people the skill set they need to at least measure the market and have a clue. So you go through all of that. And that's why I'm not going to answer questions. If you ask a question I know is answered by going through the videos or the book. So please do that for me. If you come this far, I'm telling you, the next steps will be worth it. HSI is not available on the Thinkorswim platform at this time. I hope to see that a major upgrade on that platform maybe next year once that merger, if that ever gets done. AXS is a big breakout. Yep, and we've talked about it. That's the other thing. Look at the YouTube channel. I don't talk a lot about the stuff, but go to my YouTube channel and look at the videos from the last few weeks. You'll see the positions we have been discussing of, when Bitcoin was at 40 and people were freaking. We said it was a C point. It's all good, Mr. Madden. Seriously, I just want people to know that this is the process. So appreciate that. Guys, look for all that information on the basic members page. Get with me next week, and then the schedule and everything we do. Looking forward to it. It'll be an official podcast that we start. So brand new, starting on Monday, 11 a.m. Eastern. Look for details this weekend. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend, great crypto run, and we'll see you Monday. Go get 'em.